most important skills that we cultivate as singers is the skill of perspective. And this skill translates into life skills, into how your life's going to go. The challenge we have as singers is getting better takes time, and the audience expects results immediately. Even coaches expect results too quickly often. Certainly family members. And we have to cultivate the ability to put that aside and realise that getting better at things takes time. Especially as adults. Yeah, we know that even if we start young, getting good at singing takes time. But when we learn complicated motor skills as adults, it takes even more time. It takes even more patience. And it takes even more baby steps to move forward gradually. The main issue adults have when they learn to sing is this lack of perspective in the learning process and realistically in the practical process of developing and improving motor skills. We want to move too quickly, and the pace of learning gets put aside. The natural pace of learning gets put aside for what the ego wants now. Now, when this happens, what happens to the learning process is that we take shortcuts, we cut corners, we find a way through quickly. But unfortunately, the end result isn't a natural sound, isn't what we desire, isn't that professional quality that we all search for. So as adults, we need a little bit of a different perspective. We need to be thinking longer term about solving our voice, about solving singing. We need to be thinking, where do I want to be in 10 years? What skills will I develop given 10 years? Instead of thinking, I've got to get this done in the next few months. I've got to get my voice done. I've got to tick that box and move on because I've got no time. If I don't make it soon, I'm never going to make it. These types of thoughts. There is no real way around the barrier of improving motor skills. And what I mean by that is the mind grows. Even as adults, the mind will grow and develop if we ask it to. But it will only develop and grow at a certain pace. And that is a hard limit. There's nothing we can really do, even with the best information, even with perfect practice, even with the best coach driving us in exactly the right direction, we're still going to face the hard limit of how quickly the mind lets go of what was and takes hold of what needs to be. Now, we're in a culture where everybody wants results now. Your family, your friends, your voice coaches, people around you, the audience, they're always going to judge you for not being very good at what you do. And that puts pressure on you. That makes you feel like, oh my God, please work voice, I need to sound good now. Especially as an adult, people are judging you by different standards. They aren't looking at you as an 8-year-old and being like, wow, that's amazing at whatever you do. Recently, my mum was on the phone talking about my little niece, I think, maybe my nephew, one or the other, saying, isn't it amazing how quickly she's learnt X, Y, or Z? And the thing that we're talking about was trivial. It was like eating with a spoon or something. My point being is, children and babies are looked at, as if they're geniuses for achieving very little. Whereas as an adult, you're going to be judged on what you can do. And if you can't do it now, someone else can. And that's the reality of how people are seeing you as you sing and as you do other things in life. So how do we get around this? How do we solve this broad problem? We have to cultivate patience, both in our practice and in our outlook moving forward. We've got to say to ourselves, it's okay if this takes time. It's okay if I'm not that great at this. It's nothing personal. It's nothing, it's no judgment on your character if you're not that good. Where are you going to get to in the longer term? How much discipline are you going to put in, and how much commitment are you going to put into your practice? If you think about a 10-year plan or a 30-year plan, it's going to be easier to solve these problems. It's going to be easier to get up and practice and to just take the rough with the smooth. But if you're needing results now, as soon as you go to vocalize, you're going to feel it clamp. You're going to feel the stress and the tension. It's going to impact your freedom. It's going to impact your ability to work, to really work. When we gain perspective and we work in this way, a lot of good things start to happen. They just start to happen more slowly than we would like. And it's your challenge really to meet in the middle and shake hands with what the mind's going to give you in real practical terms versus what you want, and allowing those things to slowly come together and create great music. And that's perspective. You've got to have it as a singer, you've got to cultivate it, and you've got to respect it. It's the most important thing that you will gain as a singer learning, and it's one of the most important things you can take out into the real world in other parts of your life. Because you'll notice very few people have it, and everyone's judging you based on this little tiny micron of time. They're judging you on how they feel right now, how they feel today, how they feel about this week. But you're playing a different game. You're playing the game of long term. You're playing the game of where am I going to get to eventually. You're playing the game of patience. And in that, you will rise and you will be separate from the vast majority who are all tangled up in the drama of the moment and the chaos of the now. Life gets a lot easier, and singing gets a lot easier when we have perspective. Anyway guys, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll catch you very soon. Take care. Bye bye.